everyone, welcome to Wicked West Books. My name is Meg West. This is Kestrel. He's a strange but lovable boy who is getting rather big. He's growing. I adore him. And this is Oscar, who will not eat out of my hand. And this is the reading vlog for week 2 of Orilium. So today is Tuesday. It is the 9th. And I'm done with work, 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and I've not read anything. I've finished The Night Circus Sunday evening, just in time for it to count for Camp Spookathon. And it's one of the ones that I want to use for the Magical Readathon, but because annotating a book is the 3rd grade on that, I'm waiting to submit those pages until I passed the courses leading up to it. I've also read In the Shadow of Lightning, which is to steal a book from someone else's TBR, which I think is actually the 2nd task on the same class. So I can't submit that one either. So when I get home, after I cook my dinner and put away the dishes, I will probably break out A Little Princess, because it is the 1st grade, and it's only a 6-hour audiobook, but I also kind of want to actually read the physical book, so I'm not sure how to do on that, because the book that I have for Green, which is Jade City, I had checked out, and it got returned today. There's only one person, so I should have it again in 2 weeks, so I'm just going to wait on that one. But the Bones season is available in ebook. I've checked it out of my library on ebook. I have a little physical player that has the audiobook on it, but I'm considering just buying the audiobook for it, or I could just read at home for a while instead of doing audiobooks full time, which is all I've done this year. The Night Circus is the first physical book that I've read in actually quite some time. So that I'm trying to figure out vlogging. I have never vlogged before. This last week's vlog, which I'm technically posting tomorrow morning, is the first reading vlog I've ever done. Doing a vlog for a special event like a book signing that I've done, that one I will do again. There will be one this month. I'm super excited for that. It's been a couple years since we've gotten to do a book signing. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go home and I'll probably start on The Little Princess. I might have to break it up into 2 different days. I might actually download the audiobook and do the audiobook a little bit at work while I'm driving. Anyway, next clip will be me reading A Little Princess. So I said I was going to read last night and vlog, and obviously I didn't. The editing for my first reading vlog took a bit longer than I had planned, and my husband decided he wanted to be more of a distraction than I had planned for, so I didn't get any reading done. And I am training a new person, which means you can't really listen to a book while you're answering questions and telling someone how to do something, so I haven't read anything yet. I did just download The Little Princess so that I can listen to it, and other than cooking dinner tonight, it's basically my only plan. I'd like to at least get halfway through it tonight. I may have to just read an ebook copy of The Bone Season because I'm not sure where my little media player is. Realistically, audiobooks are faster for me because I can listen to them while I'm working, which is not something that you can do with a physical book. If you're running around and doing active-y kind of things like my job needs me to do, I get to listen to audiobooks all day. And then I have all of the time in the afternoon to do other free things, like play with my cat. I will get started, at least, on A Little Princess tonight. I can probably finish it tomorrow. And then when I get home tomorrow, I will probably restart The Bone Season, because it's going to be a reread of a book for me, but it's been quite some time since the last time I read the book. Time to start A Little Princess. have not done my makeup yet. But I really have to comment on this. That last clip was me starting A Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett from the illustrated copy that I carried around as a child. Like, that was my middle school copy of that book, and I carried it around. There's pencil markings in it from when I was coloring in the chapter titles. And when I put it down last night, which was very shortly after I turned off the camera, I was on chapter 3. But I wanted to get some reading done today, so I have the audiobook going for my drive to work, and I started on chapter 3. I am now in chapter 6, and I thought it was just my imagination at first, or maybe that I wasn't paying enough attention last night when I was reading, but that little book that I had carried around is an abridged version of the story. It's not the whole thing. It's only a part of the thing. It's very severely, honestly, edited. The character Lottie in the book, I don't even think it mentioned it last night, even though I've already got the story of how Lottie was met, that temper tantrum that she threw, and then a second one where she got a story, and did it mention Lavinia last night? I don't think it did. I think that book leaves out a whole lot, and I'm honestly kind of really disappointed about it. I never knew. Like, I've seen the movie, and lots of these scenes I'm remembering from the movie, and I'm going to watch the movie when I'm finished reading the book, because I honestly can't remember the last time I did that, but it's just so strange to me how much is left out of that little book that I had on the couch last night. Alright, so real fast before I turn on my book again and start driving to my next stop for work, I asked my mother, I told my mother what I just told all of you, and she said that when she bought me this edition and she was reading it to me as a child, that she felt like it was missing large chunks of the book, and she was confused, but she convinced herself that it was just her memory, that she had made it up, the things that were missing, or maybe she just didn't remember the book correctly. So yeah, she felt kind of vindicated that I'm doing a side-by-side, and it's definitely missing portions of the overall story, which really irritates me. So when it comes to Ermengarde, I remember her in the movie. Like, I can kind of sort of picture her face, but I'm pretty sure she was not called Ermengarde. I have to wait for that, but definitely a movie worth it. I liked the movie about as much as I liked the book as a child, so I have to re-experience them both. The casual racism. Considering when this was written, it's not surprising, but yeah. There's been like minimal amounts that for the time could be considered progressive, like being nice to a black servant. But yeah, that was just a scene that was a lot of casual racism. Just to mention it. You know, it doesn't do any good to ignore it, but yeah, that's where I'm at in the book now. She had slaves when they lived in India. Much less casual. So it's Friday, it's 5 o'clock, and I'm off work early today. I almost don't know what to do with myself. I've been working 50-plus hour weeks for months. I didn't even make it to 40 this week, which honestly is just a nice break. I'm not going to really appreciate next week's paycheck, but the break is good. I am a little over 80% through A Little Princess. It's going slower than I intended. I keep putting it down because it's not... It's a contemporary fantasy kind of thing. It's just a contemporary story with like some magical elements to it that it also kind of explains, but it's also just kind of a writer's choice. And the only reason I even remotely try to explain A Little Princess is because I've talked to people today and the past couple of days about that mix-up with having an abridged book, and they're like, I've never seen it. I've never watched the movie. I never read the book. Wait, that's a thing that exists? And it's just like... It's kind of weird when you meet people and you talk about something from your childhood that was a big part of your childhood and they can't relate to it. Like, mentally it makes sense, but at the same time... But yeah, I'll go ahead and finish it. I'll probably get to actually read a physical book tomorrow, so I'll spend a good portion of it reading The Bone Season. Probably. The Bone Season fits more to my adult tastes in books than my child taste in books. Although I really, really am looking forward to watching the movie again, because the movie was so good. I'm gonna go home early now, and I'll let you know when I finish the book. So I am out in a parking lot for recess. There's a pretty tree right here. Tree. They finally finished Little Princess. Classics are not my thing. The abridged version cut out half the story, so that explains how I could read it so much as a child, because it was a very, very short book. I can see how for the time it might have been considered inspiring for a child to behave that way, but all I saw was spoiled. Am I too old for this now? That all I see is a spoiled child. Because she is. She's spoiled, but she's nice, which I think is kind of how I grew up. It's how I felt I was when I grew up. I don't know. But that's over with, so later today I will read Saga, and that will complete 3 of my courses in, I think it's Conjuration. Off the top of my head, I think it's Conjuration. And then we move on to Bone Season, and I did get Jade City back, and the final book for the readathon for my grade comes out on the 20th, I believe. 20th, 22nd? 22nd sounds better. 23rd? It's on the 23rd. I got there eventually. I might actually win and be able to do a couple of quests. Alright, so that's the end of Saga. Very, very thin. Got her it really quickly. And now I want more, which is how I remember feeling when I finished the first book. But it's been years between. But I still remember a good portion of the story. There's one character in here that I have to show you because I love him. I love him. He's so cute. I will not show you the character at the beginning. It is hideous and horrible, and I hope I never see it again. Okay, the lighting's not terrible so long as I block it from directly hitting the camera. It is the end of Monday. I am going home. I am going to make tacos for dinner. I have started, not gotten very far, into The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. I also started the audiobook for Jade City by Fonda Lee, and I think it's a book that I'm really going to like. I'm not sure how well reading both of them at the same time is going to work, because they both are kind of, sort of like our world, but with a magical element put into them. And again, I'm not sure. I have read The Bone Season before, so hopefully that will help, but we shall see. We shall see. Right now, I'm going to go home, put on some trash TV, read The Bone Season, and eat some tacos. So basically this week, I only read A Little Princess, which I do have this unabridged version. It's just had some mice get a hold of it at one point in time, so it's the other one that I showed off. This one, however, is also illustrated, and honestly, I adore that illustration more than the ones in the other book. This edition does have the entirety of it. I did read an audiobook, which also had the entirety of it, so I missed out on nothing this time with the read-through, reading the adult version of this children's story. I also watched the movie, and that was pure nostalgia. That was everything I remembered it being. It was still so cute, and I loved the movie. And my husband was horrified. Why are you making me watch this sad movie? It's like, you gotta wait till the end for it to have a happy ending. It's just got a very, very unhappy middle. He did not like the movie and did not think it was a children's movie, even though that's how I grew up. So take that. So right now I am focusing mostly on The Bone Season. I would like to finish the reread of the physical copy for that. If I can get this edited quickly, then I will be getting a decent portion read today for The Bone Season. Then I have to listen to the audiobook for Jade City, which is my color wheel pick. But also Soul Taken comes out in like a week. I'm filming this on Tuesday, so in exactly a week, Soul Taken comes out, so I either have to be completely done with... Really, Jade City is the one that I need to finish. There isn't a wait for Bone Season if I need to check it out again. But does that mean I'm going to switch to listening to Jade City instead of reading The Bone Season? No. The thing with Jade City is that it's very similar to Bone Season, and like, from what I can tell, at least the hour I've listened to it, similar kind of writing style, similar in that it's more or less our world, but with magical elements in it. Both characters are part of a crime syndicate, so it's got some real similarities that makes it so that I really don't think I can read these two books at the same time. I don't think I can. But yeah, that's it. So I forgot for a second that I also read Saga by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. This is volume 2. These are mature, and there's a hideous, horrible, ugly picture just like 5 pages in that I reacted to greatly when I was reading this. And I will probably slowly get caught up on Saga, because I do really enjoy them when I read them. I'm just not the biggest fan of manga or comic books or graphic novels. It's not my preferred media. I just like reading the words. I have a hard time seeing the important things in pictures, so anything that's foreshadowing in those pictures, I miss it like 100% of the time. Whereas if it's reading word, it's just that one thing for me to look at and I can see it just fine in my head. But I do really like the story for Saga, and I will continue on with them eventually. So yeah, nowhere near as much page material as the first week of August, but headway. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and feel free to subscribe to my channel if you have not done so already. Let's see. And feel free to subscribe to my channel if you have not done so already. I will be seeing you once more in a week with one more vlog. I also want to put out a bookish backgrounds for Patricia Briggs before I go and see her, because I'm going to vlog that experience as well. And that happens, I'm pretty sure, next Wednesday. So that's going to be it for this video. I will see you guys next time. Have a wicked day.